All right. 2024, year number 10, GOhioCast podcast. We have National Middle School Duels director, founder, Dom D'Amelio. Dom, how we doing tonight?
Good, Zeb. Good. Anxious to talk about our duels.
Okay, man. Well, we're in year number 10.
That's
Okay.
right.
It
Yep.
is my podcast isn't in year number 10. Your actual literal dominant tournament, which is the standard of I would say middle school duels in the country, along with VAC. You guys in VAC, I would say, are tit for tat, right?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, very, very, and this just talk about the vision, Dom. Your background in wrestling is you wrestled in high school, right?
Correct.
For
Wrestled
strips,
in high
right?
school. Just been a long time coach, and then our club wanted to do a fundraiser, so we started out thinking that we could do. There's a ton of tournaments out there, so we thought we would do a national middle school youth dual event, and we happened to create a relationship with the Glass City Center at the time. It was Seagate, and talk to you. You hooked us up with Flow Wrestling and Rudis, and the event has just taken off. It's been phenomenal. We have a waiting list now. We have over a dozen teams wanting to get in. We're a closed event, special invite only. We're trying to get a cross representation of teams from across the country, and some of the best dual teams out there are attending, or some of the best clubs are attending. So it's been a great event. Even the officials like working the event. It's top notch.
I mean, there's no question. When I come, I always get to see who the next superstars are. Last year we had the Hutcherson kid. He was the OW of the championship finals. Um, he just took fourth at the Clarion Open as a freshman at 174
That
pounds.
is incredible. I was there. I didn't see his matches. I wish I would have paid attention, but that's incredible.
Yeah, when I
Yeah,
sent you the stuff, where you're like, oh wow, our
yeah.
tournament
I
is
watched his match, and yeah, just amazed.
so.
Yeah.
I was talking to my nephew Owen, and he jumped into the deep end of the pool, which is the National Middle School Duels. And he told me one day he was like a fill-in, right? Because sometimes you need fill-ins because it's such a
Oh
meet.
yeah.
He had back to back one of the Madden brothers and then Casey Swiderski. And my brother on the way home was like, "Don't you have any pride? How could you just let me beat you up like that?" And he's like, "Nah, dude, I was doing my best. These guys are
One of the
killers,
one of the teams needed a wrestler, and I had my son Devin at the time fill in, and he did not want. I made him fill in, and he went 1-7. He had a tough day, but then he was better for it. He had to end up having a great season.
Yeah, it's just so tough, man. When we say name, Matt and Swiderski, obviously, arguably one of the greatest high school wrestlers ever, whose career's not over. Marcus Blaze wrestled in the event every year.
Right?
Being 10 minutes, 15 minutes down the road from his house in Perrysburg. You guys have just had so many different the Ferraris, multiple Ferraris have wrestled at the tournament,
The
and it's
Vasakis,
Vizakis is all
Bassett, yes,
Vizakis' sister, all the
right?
boys, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
to
she was
look at.
incredible, Jacqueline.
Yeah, Jacqueline, she's the real deal. Um, Nick, Nick wrestled in it too, right? Nick, who's
Yep,
your
yep.
son's
Nick
son.
wrestled in it.
It's
Jesse
amazing.
Mendez,
Vince, Jesse. Um, the one I remember was Seth Mendoza. Seth Mendoza was always Gray Burnett. All these guys who are high school guys now. It's just, it's phenomenal to see it. And I get to go back and look. Casey Cunningham's son, Asher, Jax Forrest, Bo Bassett. I mean,
you yep, yep, yep.
I love
Caleb
dropping the
Henson,
names,
yep.
man, and to go back and watch
Cassiope,
what's that?
yep,
Cassiope twins. Yeah,
right.
go back and watch the videos too. Is awesome because they're so young. They're middle school kids. Some of them elementary school kids. Because what is unique about National Middle School Duels as far as what the age range that can wrestle?
Yeah, so we're eighth grade and under. So there's a mix of youth weight classes all the way up to middle school weight classes. There's 17 weight classes. It's kind of cool to see these teams come in. Um, weight classes from 55 pounds all the way up to 209. So pretty wide spectrum of wrestlers, and it's cool. What makes it a great event too is it's a limited team, so not any team can get in. It's all high level competition. The hotel's connected to the event. I always say that every year, but that's a big sell. I mean, it was a big sell for me. You can get a hotel connected to the event or across the street. And then we have 16 mats, no buys, and we run through it fast, and we're done by 5 o'clock. So
The clubs that come into it are pretty incredible. You've had some, you have a coast to coast mix. It's a true national tournament.
yeah,
We get Prodigy up in, Minnesota, or not Prodigy, Pinnacle up in Minnesota. They come to it. Buxton on the East Coast there in New Jersey. They show up. POWA out of Colorado.
Colorado. Yep.
Colorado. There's Minions out of Georgia. I mean, Dynasty's kind of a lot of places, right?
Yep. Dynasty out of New Jersey mainly. Top team has been Team Revival out of New Jersey. They've been the champ the last 2 years. So Scott Simpson has put a good team together, or a great team together. Um, yeah, I mean, we have Team Gotcha out of Illinois, Stellar trained with Chance Stellar. So that's pretty cool that his team comes in.
Chance Marsteller comes in. David Taylor has come in with M2 Training Center. They were runner up in the COVID year 2020 at Rossford, or 2021 at Rossford. Yeah, no, that was 2020. That was November 2020 at Rossford, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's wild, man. How crazy is that whole thing to look back at that, huh?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that today. So I was outside today and it's like balmy and 70 degrees. And I remember 2 years ago during COVID, or yeah, we had to move it to a soccer dome, and there were 60-mile-an-hour winds. My tree fell down outside. It was bone chilling cold. I mean, so yeah, that was some weird times.
Fan limitations. It was just a crazy. That was 3 years ago, Dom. That was
three
three
years
years ago.
ago. Yeah,
That's
yep,
crazy.
yep.
Thorn brothers come. The Thorn brothers are. We've got a Washington team that's come in the past. I just love to see the representation of the Cali Gold, right? California Gold.
So we got some top new teams coming. So we got DC Wrestling Academy with Daniel Cormier. So his team's coming from California.
Will Coach Cormier be coaching them?
I don't know if he's attending. He's been communicating with us on the team, so that'd be kind of cool if he attends. I mean, I've seen him at a lot of youth events, so a good chance he'll be there. We have a new team, Fort Hammers out of Indiana, Killer Elite out of Michigan. We have a West Virginia team. We have a new Wisconsin team called Refuse to Lose with Nazar. Um, Ruthless out of New Jersey. Team Alien out of Rhode Island, and Untouchables out of Minnesota. So, I mean, quite the
Yeah.
cross representation.
Ziola, who did Ziola come with? Dynasty? He came with Dynasty, didn't he, when Ziola used to come to it?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I think his kid's done, so he's moved on. But yeah, Dynasty will be back. Yeah.
Jeez, it is a crazy to look at what you guys have been able to do with the tournament. You're capped out, right? This was a dream 11 years ago. You knew we don't just want to be another run of the mill tournament. We want to be the
Yeah.
premier dual tournament. Glass City Center. It was Seagate at that point. Did you ever envision you would take the whole convention center down?
Not exactly. We started out with one hall, then we went to two halls, and now we're running all three halls.
The entire convention center.
The entire convention center, right? Yeah. So at some point, we think we can fit two more mats comfortably, and we just have to figure out the bracketing. But I'd like to expand to 36 teams, and I think it's important, at least from our perspective, to minimize buys, and just not have teams there all day. Run a efficient tournament. All the teams are competitive. Um, and it's just a smooth event.
So you guys might be able to go into the Mud Hen Stadium, right on the stadium, right? Just throw some mats right down on the infield.
That would be cool.
It's right there, though. It's
It's right
literally
across the street.
it can hit
Yeah,
a home run and hit the building you're in.
right, right. That's very
Okay.
cool.
So one stop shop. We've talked about that before. Down at Glass City, there's feasibly a way that people could park in the parking deck underneath, take the elevator up, never leave the facility from Friday weigh-ins
That's
to
right.
leaving for their
Park in the
flight home.
basement, go the first floor to the hotel, and walk down the hall to the arena. Never have to leave the arena,
I
or
love,
never have to touch your car.
I love it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah, and then everybody is usually able because you guys are so you're conscious about getting them out of there, and a lot of them are able to catch Sunday night or early Monday morning flights home, so it doesn't turn into this 4 or 5 day thing.
Right.
That's good, man. That's great. Yeah, I can't wait. Let's talk about our partners. Defense
Yes.
Soap. West Shore will be there. They bring a team. Defense Soap. Sometimes it's Defense Soap. Sometimes it's West Shore. They made the gold bracket last year, I believe. Talk about the tiering and the bracket system. Day one format versus day two format at National Middle School
Yeah.
Duel.
So, we break up teams. We go by past results. Um, Try to separate states the best we can. And then the teams submit some seeding information. But basically, we have 4 8-man brackets. The first day, all the teams wrestle through the bracket all the way to seventh place. And we also wrestle a true second. And then we take the top 2 teams from each bracket and we put them in a pool. So if you place top 2 in the bracket, you go to the gold pool. Place third or fourth, you go to the silver pool, and on and on. And then on the second day, we do the pools and we create, so the 8-team pool will create 2 pools of 4. They wrestle 3 matches, and then we do a crossover for first place, third place, fifth place, and seventh place. Um, it's worked out really well. I think it identifies what team should be in the gold pool, silver pool, bronze, and then copper.
I think it's a pretty good vetting process that you do, and it's a pretty competitively balanced. I believe there was some weird wrestle-ins or something last year. Did Stellar have to wrestle in or something crazy? Stellar trained?
Well, I think wrestling that true second in the first day may not be fun, and then hopefully teams don't have to wrestle each other a second time, so that occasionally does happen.
So the true second would be the wrestle-in essentially
Yes,
to get to gold.
yeah, yeah. If you lose in the finals in the bracket and the third place team you haven't wrestled, the teams will wrestle for a true second.
Will we see teams like Roundtree and the Thorn Academy? Will we see the Thorn brothers? Will we see Coach Roundtree? Will we see teams like that?
Those 2 teams aren't back.
They're not back, or they
They're
are
not
back?
back. They're
Not
not
back.
back.
Okay.
They're not back.
Um,
Um, but yeah, we have a good cross representation of teams from all across the country. I'm excited about the Cali team coming in. Um, yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Georgia, Maryland.
okay, so here's my next question. You have this good balance of teams, but you have a great local club that actually does a lot of the setups with you.
Yeah,
Burnett trained wrestling. Some years they've had one team, some years they've had 2 teams. Obviously, a very competitive program. It's Marcus Blaze's program. Logan Stevers,
right.
I'm your son's club. So obviously, it's super competitive. They're pushing out All Americans, NCAA champions. Joey Blaze's program, a great program in general. What does Burnett Train do with you guys, and how do they partner in National Middle School Duels?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we couldn't do it without BTW. So Jody and Scotty and their crew, they help. They provide some of the mats. They help with weigh-ins. They help run the tournament. So they've been great partners. Um, yeah, Jody's been wonderful. She's amazing. I mean, she has all the connections. She's able to motivate volunteers, and she loves wrestling.
Yeah, I've seen her motivation. Sometimes it gets strong armed a little bit. Sometimes the loom
Sometimes you
dog gets
have
a
to,
little
right? Yeah.
strong. She has to get in there. Eric Burnett's normally at the event, coaching at some level, running around mats, doing stuff. I
Yep.
know Scotty's obviously there as being the head coach. He's the local guy right down the road. And then all the Perrysburg kids have always wrestled in this tournament. Um, dude, it's just like it's an amazing thing to sit and watch. I believe Jody was the catalyst for it not getting canceled the COVID year, right?
That's correct. So that COVID year, we were being shut down at Glass City and or Lucas County. This is the whole county shut down, and was going to cancel it. And Jody just insisted that we find a way. So we were able to move it to the Rossford Soccer Dome, about 10 miles away, and had the event. And then we had to limit attendees and shuffle them in a few at a time. It was a lot of work. It was
Wood
probably the
County. The key thing was you left, you went from Lucas to Wood County, right?
correct. Correct.
Wow. It was amazing, man. And you still made it. I still have those finals. Both Bouzakises wrestled in that. Vince and Jacqueline, Asher Cunningham, Jax Forrest, Bo Bassett. I mean, man, what a Kate
Wow.
Viola. I mean, I look back at it and I'm like, oh my, what a freaking final that was because it was M2 versus Dynasty. Oh,
Yeah, no, there's been some incredible competition, and the level of wrestling is the future stars of the sport. The officials come in, and they're most of them are high school officials, and they come in and they're wow, this is incredible. It's better wrestling than some of the state high school wrestling that happens. Yeah.
there's no question. There's no. I love that it's a thing where I get to constantly check the barometer, see who's going to be at the Ironman, see who's going to be at the Beast, who's going to be in Fargo, and who's going to be the top individuals. Yeah, man, it's a pleasure for me to be there. Now we will be there this weekend, first weekend in November. It's usually the first or second weekend in November. For people to mark it on their calendar. Um, Weigh-ins on Friday, right?
Weigh-ins Friday. Event starts at 9 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. All matches are streamed live by Flow Wrestling. Yours truly, Zeb, will be commentating on Sunday, so many of the live matches will be commentated. Um, Zeb, you sprinkle in a bunch of interviews, which are highly entertaining. I love the interviews that you conduct.
I think it provides some value, right? I think it provides value to the event.
Yeah, I even went back and watched some of them recently, and it's like, wow, that person was there, and that coach
Ferrari's
had.
first time I interviewed Big AJ Ferrari was at the high school middle school duels, man. Um, oh, Drayshawn Ross, the kid from Iowa. Coach Fowler's brought him, and now he's up down to his final four schools: Oklahoma State, Iowa, Penn State, and what is this? Iowa, Oklahoma State, Penn State, maybe Ohio State. I forget what his other one was. He's got a fourth one. It's not Iowa State though. He's an Iowa kid, but he was there. It,
Right.
it's so crazy to see it. And that guy is.
Well, and as a wrestling fan, I mean, you see the level of wrestling, and you're trying to figure out, well, who is that person? And then, as you follow the sport, you see these wrestlers excel in high school, and then and later become All Americans in college, and it's um, impressive.
It is. Hold on, let me tell you his finals. His finals are. Oh, it is Iowa State. Drayshawn Ross. His top four are Iowa, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Penn State. And
Nice.
I think he's the
Wow.
best big man in America, arguably. He's nails, and he's a guy that I got to interview him in the lobby one day, and it's just like he's a guy that can do football too. Football is something where he could end up being a D1 football player. So I love seeing that, man. I'm just a fan of it. Okay, National Middle School Duels this weekend, 2024, year 10. Dom, I got to ask some Ohio State wrestling questions.
Sure.
What year are we in at Ohio State? Six?
Sex. Yep.
And could he get a seventh?
Well, the only way he could is if he medical redshirt, and I hope that doesn't happen.
Okay, well, let's not hold on.
Yeah.
I knocked on some wood. I think
That's right.
we'll
Yeah, hold out. Yeah.
Okay, so Dylan D'Amelio, All American for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Your son never wrestled in the National Middle School Duels, which is a huge feather in your cap because a lot of dads, once they're done with an event and their kids are done with the event, they move on. To be
Yeah.
fair to a lot of people,
Sure.
I could tell you that that's way I'll roll. I will roll like that most likely. I'm pretty invested in my kids. I know you are as well, right? Um, Dylan never wrestled in the event, but you've stayed with the event. Your younger son was it Damien?
My youngest son, Devin, did middle school
Devin
duels.
did get to
Yes.
wrestle
Yeah.
in the event, but you've stuck with the event. You've missed Ohio State matches. You've missed Ohio State tournaments. You've missed preseason stuff. Why is this such an important thing to you? Why stick with National Middle School Duels when you have one of the top college wrestlers in the country and NCAA D1 All American and Dylan D'Amelio?
Well, I made a commitment to do this thing, so we're going to do it right. I have a great team. I mean, there's 100 volunteers. There's 20 people on our event planning committee. I have a bunch of family helping, which, is much appreciated. And I made a commitment to the duels. Just have to, it's one event that I'm going to have to put everything else on hold. Fortunately, this year I'm not going to miss any events. So Ohio State's open this weekend, so works out great for me.
Way to make the
You
call
believe?
to Jaggers. Hey, Coach Jags, Coach Stever, can you? I'm sure they
Well,
don't.
they may have planned it that way because young Jet Jaggers I heard is coming. So
He's been at the event multiple times,
yes,
actually. I've watched him
yes,
wrestle some crazy matches. Jet Jaggers is tough, dude.
he is.
I like
He's
him.
a yeah. He's got some serious scrambling ability. He's fun to watch.
Are you shocked?
No, no, no. He doesn't have.
Talk about partners. Talk about obviously defense. Defense is a
Yeah.
partner. Always have been a partner. They've been in since year one. Talk about the partners that you work with at National Middle School Duels.
Yep, Defense Dope really stepped up. They increased their presence the last couple years, so now they have signs all over. They provide all the cleaning supplies, all the skin funk supplies, defense wipes. They have banners. They help out with weigh-ins. So it's a major commitment on their part, and um, greatly appreciate their partnership. Also to Rudis, we're getting 11 Rudis mats this year, so it's going to look super cool. Um, and they've been a great partner, and they'll have a little store set up inside the arena.
It
And
is not
then
a little
also,
store. It is not a
well, it's a pretty
little
big
store.
store. When I say little, yeah, they bring in, yeah, Zeb, it's like, um, I don't know, this massive truck, and they just bring in supplies and supplies. So
Do they drive it right in the building? Like right in the roll-ups? Do they because you can drive right, you could drive a semi in that building.
yes, yeah. So we let them drive in, drop off their supplies, and then they roll out and they park in the loading dock. But yeah, they bring in the Rudis truck, and they've been phenomenal partners. Jesse Lang called him up early in this event planning, and he's always been on board. Um, so they're great partners. They provide all our gear, and then they also provide all the volunteer shirts. We'll also provide championship shirts for the championship team. So yeah, Rudis, Flow Wrestling, Defense Soap, OAC with Jared Offer. They've been phenomenal. Um, they're donating some supplies. And then Destination Toledo, they've been lights out. They've helped us with hotels and the event and great partners.
What is Destination Toledo? Are they just like the Chamber of Commerce type tourism?
Yeah, yeah. County Chamber of Commerce for Northwest Ohio.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then will you be a full-time road warrior for Ohio State this year? Will you be at everything that you can possibly go to?
Yeah. So last year I made a commitment to go to all but one because of the duels. And this year, um, we plan to go to all of them. It's
Batting
fun.
1,000, Dom.
Yeah,
You haven't been able to bat 1,000 because of the National Middle School Duels.
that's correct. That's correct.
So this
Yep.
thing means a little bit to you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's your
for
baby.
sure. Yeah,
Baby,
yeah.
damn it. It's not one of your grandbabies. How many grandbabies now?
I have three.
You got three?
Three.
Holy smokes. What do
We
you got?
had two
Boys,
newborns
girls?
and we had two newborns and a 3-year-old.
Boys,
My
girls?
2 girls and a boy.
You find is it a D'Amelio? Is it one of your son? Is it a son? Your
So
grandson? Your son's kid?
yeah, my oldest son had a boy, and then my daughter had 2 girls.
Holy smokes, man.
So yeah, and they're over all the time. It's a lot of fun. Love
Oh
it.
wow. Wow. So
Yep.
it lives on. There it is. D'Amelio name lives on. There it is.
That's
Book
right.
it.
Amen,
Book
brother.
it. So you'll bat 1,000 this year. You'll be able to follow Ohio State at everything. And this is the final hurrah, the victory lap for Dylan D'Amelio, All American for the Buckeyes. I can't wait. I'm a fan, you know that. Got to hang out with him in New York City. That was
Very
really cool.
cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. We hung out at the NYAC and went out to dinner one night, and it was a good time, man. And I like Coach Jaggers and Coach Stieber are awesome guys. So, anytime I can
It's
be
a good crew.
yeah,
I enjoy the coaching staff. I enjoy their honesty too. I feel like, um, they tell me what's going on and it's not, blowing sunshine up my ass. Yeah.
gotta appreciate that, man.
No, I do. I do. I want a straight talk and I feel like I get that. So I greatly appreciate that. And I think, Dylan's wired right this year. He's got a little lighter schedule, and so gets to focus on him and being the best version of himself. So I'm looking forward to
Stay
supporting
healthy,
him and the team.
healthy, stay healthy,
Yeah,
stay on, stay healthy.
right.
The dual schedule in the Big Ten is just so brutal. The January February stretch of the Big Ten, I don't know if there's a more physically grueling thing that you can do in all of college sport and sport period, whether it's professional, Tour de France. I don't know. Think of a thing, an Ironman. Think of a thing. Think about the 9, the 8,
Right.
10 week stretch of the Big Ten dual season. First off, the best product in wrestling. There's not up for debate. There's no question. Um, it's just unbelievable. I mean, if you can't get up for Friday night, multiple duels stacked on them in the Big Ten
Yeah,
Network,
it's
Saturday
not easy.
sometime.
So they wrestle Friday night and then Sunday,
Yeah,
and you know, back to back to back weekends, and it's just a grind.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, they
like an
go
eight,
back.
8 to
Monday's a
10 week.
recovery day,
Yeah,
and
sometimes there's a December one in there, they might have a December one, but then, you think about your guys are still going to wrestle Virginia Tech in December or NC State or whoever they bring in, right? And they're always going to have that landmine to step around who's, they're tough ACC schools. So, I mean, it's not the Big Ten, it's a different, but it's still, they're tough.
yeah, it's
They're
still
really
high
good.
level competition, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, yeah. 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 I love that. I love that what they do with their schedule and the Big Ten's just got it right, man. They've got it right, and they've got the best product in the sport of wrestling globally. Globally, I think.
yeah. I mean, even the coaches too across the Big Ten, they're all entertaining. They're all unique. They're all different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love some of the coaching staffs across the Big Ten.
yeah. It's incredible to see. And you deal with them in recruiting, and you might be dealing. Here's what people don't understand about relationships, right? You make this guy mad or that guy mad, or you burn him in recruiting. Then your kid wants a job, or your kid wants to go somewhere and get a graduate degree. They're out because you burned a bridge, right? Because you didn't
Yeah,
like what they offered or didn't offer, right? Like it's a relationship game, man. It's a relationship game, and a lot of people maybe don't understand that. And you gotta understand that you can circle back around with people, not to burn the bridge. And
absolutely.
I think that that's a huge thing. And you know that. And you were recruited by was it
You know,
Minnesota?
I saw some of the coaches at the Clarion Open, and they walked by and said hi. I mean, they're all good dudes. I mean, anybody in the sport of wrestling, everyone seems approachable. It's not like you can talk to any star in wrestling, and I wouldn't hesitate to call any one of them to say, "Hey, can you work this camp or can you speak at this engagement?" I mean, they're all accessible. It's kind of like a blue collar sport.
Yeah. I mean,
I appreciate that.
if Daniel Cormier shows up, Daniel Cormier will take every picture.
Yeah,
Daniel Cormier will sign every autograph. He'll do everything, that what's been bestowed upon him, what he earned as in the MMA and now as a coach. And I think he gets it. You know, he gets it because I remember Logan Stieber told me I was taking a video of him signing autographs, and I was like, does this ever get old? He's like, never, because someday they're not going to be asking for him anymore.
Yeah, very
Like a guy
cool.
like that gets it. You know what I mean? A
Very
guy like
cool.
a Logan Stieber and a Daniel Cormier share a lot of similarities in how they are as a competitor and as a person.
Totally agree.
I like that. I like that, man. I like that those guys get that and they're honored by it. They're not bothered by it. You know, one of my friends, Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, everywhere we go, man. It get for me, I'm like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to hang out and drink beers and be buddies and
Yeah.
everybody that wants a picture, even how and they're rude. A lot of people are rude to him. He gets every picture, man. Signs every whatever they ask him. Sometimes people be like, hey, can you do a 10-second video? Tell my cousin something. Well, I saw a guy hand him a phone one time and he talked to somebody. I'm like, what? Would you do that? They get it though. Those guys
Yeah.
get it. Those guys, those high level guys get it. They get it and they're honored by it, to be quite honest with you. Some people are bothered by it. I don't think Brock Lesnar loves it, maybe. I don't know if he loves, but I think he'll do it because he understands
Yeah. Well,
fans matter.
he's gone to MMA and beyond, so
Yeah. He's a megastar.
yes.
Brock Lesnar's a household name in China and Russia
Yes.
and Japan, Australia. Everybody knows who that guy is, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's tough. Hey, did you know his daughter won the NCAAs in the shot put?
I did not.
It looks like a
Yeah.
clone of him, but a girl. Yeah, that guy, what a freak. But those guys get it. You know, you've had David Taylor come to this thing before and Chance Marsteller, right? And I think that they do everything they can to please their fans. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I
even
like
the
that.
Thorne brothers, Pinnacle, Young Guns,
Yeah, all of
Jared
them. Yeah.
Lawrence.
Bo
Yeah, they're
Basketball,
all
he signs out, he does all that stuff, right?
yeah.
Marcus Blaze, surprisingly, at the because he's a shy kid, right?
Oh yeah, he's
And
reserved for sure.
won all around what is it, Bryce Jordan Center, signed every kid's singlet, did every headgear, took all the pictures, took selfie, they throw their phone down, they gotta take a selfie. It's really impressive to watch, Dom. And I love that they're at your event. We might see
Yeah,
we
I
might
think
see Marcus
we last year we recognized him and
Swiderski.
as a former at the duels we recognized him and gave him an award for being one of our former greats that came to the duels.
He could show up, though, is my point. Like, would you
Oh
be
yeah.
shocked if
Yeah.
Marcus Blaze was at the tournament?
Oh, Perrysburg helped set up on Wednesday. He could be there with the high school team setting up for
That is,
sure.
you know what's crazy about that? He could do what like a Henry Cejudo did or what Kyle Snyder did. He's every bit in that echelon. He's absolutely he could move to Colorado Springs and become a full-time training athlete like what those guys did. And
Absolutely.
he's just at their level. It's just and they won gold medals under 20 years of age, right? I think he's right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, look what he did at the trials. I mean, he went through the trials,
two
beating
both trials,
national
both
champs. Yep.
trials,
Yeah.
both trials, right? The Olympic trials and then the non-Olympic weight trials. He was just lights out, man. But that's alumni for you guys, and that's somebody who's a superstar of the sport, and he gets it. And I like that. Dom, do you have anything else for me tonight coming up to the National Middle School Duels 2024?
I would just say that make sure that you tune in to Flow Wrestling Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. All the matches will be broadcast live. Some of the best young wrestling in the country will be there and will surely be exciting. So looking forward to having you there, Zeb. It'll be fun.
Saturday, November 8th and 9th. No, 9th and 10th.
9th and 10th.
Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Dom, you can watch the broadcast. Where can you watch the broadcast, Dom?
Flow Wrestling.
All right, Dom. People can tune in, check it out. We'll have interviews, we'll have behind the scenes, we'll have awards, we'll have everything we can do, Dom. Dom, thanks for the time. Stick around. GOhioCast podcast
Thanks,
2024.
Zeb.